Welcome to Dakota Growing. I'm Kelsey Deckert, your horticulture agent here in Burleigh County, joined in the Radio Access studio by my co-host Tom Kalb, NDSU Extension horticulturist. How you doing today?
Everything's great.
We're in fall officially, right? I heard that.
Okay, I believe that. Okay. But it isn't like the 70s today. What's that about?
It's like 80s, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really going to be really. And there's no frost coming in the future.
No.
So, do you think this global warming's true then? Maybe we're not going to have winter this year. What do you think about that? Would that be great or what?
Let's knock on that wood. Yeah.
Knock on the plastic table here.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, it's great outside. It's so beautiful, just nice and pleasant, and just cherishing these days.
The evenings, nice and
cool.
It's perfect to be outside.
Great.
Just a bummer that the sun is setting a lot earlier in the day, but that's to be expected, so.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, huh?
See, I'll give you a history lesson before my time. In the old days, the days got shorter, and people thought the sun was going away.
Oh.
Did I tell you that? So people, they thought,
panicked.
we're going to die. We're going to die. The sun's going away. We need the sun. And then all of a sudden, one day, the days got longer. You know what that is? That's like December 23rd. So that became a festival. The sun's coming back. We're not going to die. And that's how Christmas got started. Jesus, they didn't have a calendar when Jesus was born, that, right? So they just picked a festival, and that was the one they picked. So there you go.
Just a long haul.
I got a lot of trivia here for you. So the day's getting shorter. Don't worry. Don't worry, guys. The sun is not moving away.
That's good.
The sun will come back, and spring will be here.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Do we got a lot to talk about? It's been a little bit.
So much to talk about.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
We got to just cram a lot in.
Yeah.
Because the growing season's going to probably shut down pretty soon.
It is.
Right? How about you? What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to start off with trees.
That sounds important.
Yeah. We'll talk about some issues that I'm still seeing around the county, getting calls on. Yeah, how about that? So let's talk about our tree issues of the growing season. Maybe I should have titled this End of the Growing Season, but they've been going on for a while, so.
Oh, yeah.
Kicking right off,
Problems?
huh? Yeah, how about these fungal leaf spots? I think we've seen these all year once we started getting that rain. They just came out like crazy. Of course, they're caused by fungi mainly. Sometimes they can be bacterial or other pathogens. We just really had the perfect environment for fungal issues this year, didn't we?
Well, yes, but so what?
So what?
Quit being so negative.
I know.
Are you complaining about the rain?
No.
Rain is good.
No.
Who cares if there's a little fungus now and then? It's okay.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you should prune your trees more, get more air movement in the canopy.
This ain't me.
I'm just saying.
I don't have trees. I have babies at
You're
my place.
a prairie. You got the prairie farm with the horses, the farmstead, little house on the prairie. That's what you got. That's beautiful,
me.
Laura.
Yes. Okay, I think key that people said, just like you said, minor stress. We do not need to stress out about this.
That's right.
We really only get concerned if they've resulted in a moderate to complete leaf loss for 2 to 4 years in a row.
2 to 4 years in a row?
Yeah.
So my tree can drop all of its leaves full of fungus today, and the tree will survive. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Miracles do happen.
So I should not worry. I was worried about that.
You bet. I think another prominent problem, again, fungal disease, apple scab. Tom, I feel like you talked a lot about this throughout our weekly hort updates that we had across the state. But again, we see this on the leaves. We see it on the fruit.
Right.
Again, key is, if you have a lot of leaf loss, that's only going to weaken the tree if it's consecutively several years in a row. So just because the leaves are falling.
Yeah, they're going to fall anyhow.
Yeah.
That's what fall's about.
Relax.
Literally.
Relax, right?
So what are you going to do about it?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit.
Okay, that's good.
I got 2 more I want to talk about.
Okay, good.
How about our
Ooh.
Pseudocercospora? Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so. That's a
big word. It's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's
I had to practice
that's
it.
a
I'm
problem.
not going to lie.
That's a problem.
Big fungal pathogen. Again, lilacs. So that bottom right photo, doesn't matter where you're driving right now in the Bismarck-Mandan area, people think the lilacs are dying. They're dying. They're dead.
Wow.
What are we going to do about it?
And so you're the happy, your teacher.
Yeah.
Say, don't worry.
Exactly.
I'll
That should have
help
been
you.
a slide itself. Just don't worry. No need to worry. So a lot of these fungal issues that we've been seeing too, like they're going to spread very easily through that splashing of rain or irrigation. Even the wind carries a lot of these different spores. We did see some of this already last year on our lilacs. So again, pretty good environment for this to be happening and developing. I would say in the last month then, I do have one probably, it's probably a 10-foot tall conwood that came up. I have some volunteers in my yard.
Oh.
So the rust came.
Oh.
Did you see the rust? Do you got any conwoods or quaking aspens?
Rust can be a problem, but it's really that moisture really gets the rust going.
Yeah. I even noticed, like, honestly, going out to one of my pastures, the grass had some rust on it, too. Very much. So, again, if you look at some of these deciduous trees from a distance and everything like that, they're going to appear like, oh, they already suddenly have fall color. You might see those brown, dried up leaves. Again, we talked about this last year, but you get this nice close-up photo and you can see those little rust spores on it. And again, they're carried by the wind and the splashing of water. So you ask the big question of, what do we do?
Yeah.
Look at them. It's kind of hard to see, but those are not very nice looking leaves. They got lots of spots on them, so I'm guessing fungal spots. We got to rake them up.
Well,
We got to clean up our landscape from all those fungal issues this year. How about that?
Get the disease out of the area.
Yeah, we don't want
it doesn't infect next spring, right?
Right. We don't want those pathogens overwintering in that area. And then, of course, talking about pruning to open up our canopies to allow more airflow and sunlight in as well. So
yeah, the removal's the best. Sanitation's the best way to handle this. If nothing else, at least mow the leaves to have them break down faster. But if you can, rake up the diseased leaves and get them out of there.
Yeah. I had somebody ask the other day about spraying a fungicide. I said, whoa, why would we be spraying a fungicide right now, right? It's infected. It's not going to do anything. So
that's right. Fungicides are mainly preventatives. They don't cure the problem. They just prevent future infection of that year. So, yeah, don't waste your money on a fungicide now. Because, again, the tree leaves they were naturally going to drop anyhow. So, yes.
Put your time into raking. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, maybe and also you said, like, even if this happens again next year, probably the tree will survive that too.
Right.
A severe defoliation. So it's usually like the third year you start thinking, okay, maybe I need to invest in a fungicide to protect, and the spring would be the time to do that application when the leaves are just popping out. Mm-hmm. But let's see what happens. Sounds like everything's going to be okay.
Well, and I think a lot of times people look at a handful of leaves and you look at the tree overall, maybe 2%, 2 to 5% actually fall. Like you're not losing a major amount of leaf defoliation.
That's
there.
Right.
So
it's no worries. That tree's been through this before. It'll be through it again. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So the last thing, I put this after, but another common issue going on right now, fall needle drop. Again, biggest thing people need to know, this is a natural, normal process for our evergreen trees. So you're going to see, just like you see in this photo, those older needles, they start to yellow and brown. They're going to eventually drop off. And I've been seeing this outside, Bismarck clinics and stuff.
Definitely.
It's there.
It's the inside of the tree are the older needles, so they naturally drop. Mm-hmm. So it's just a natural process. Just like
No need to.
like if your volunteer cottonwood tree on the prairie drops its leaves, do you freak out? No, I go, it's just natural for.
Right.
Or if your elm tree drops its leaves in the fall, you go, oh, you don't say, oh my God, what am I going to do? No, it just falls, drops leaves, and evergreens drop needles, old
That's right.
needles. Those old needles don't do much good. They're in the inside of the tree. They don't make much food or nutrients for the tree, and the tree just sheds them.
That's right.
No worries. And those pines, I get a picture of a pine there. They can be very vivid. You know, a pine can
drama
lose
queens.
they can lose about a third of their needles, just like that.
Right.
And that does cause concern. But you said spruces get it, arborvitae get it, larches get it. Larches drop everything, right?
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Yeah. Know your type of tree. That's the key on that.
Yeah.
You know, and just speaking about leaf drop too, even people got to realize some of your trees, again, like I've had some calls that,
Yeah.
oh, I have like 3 ash trees together. One of them's already dropping leaves.
Right.
Tends to do that. That can just be the characteristics of that tree. Like, again,
That's right.
you can have 3 ash trees. It's no different than siblings, right?
That's
you all
right.
got same parents and everything like that. However, you're all going to be different and unique and different characteristics. So
That's right.
again, no need to worry.
Yep.
So should we talk about what our checklist is going into
Okay.
winter for trees? So I used one of your recommended sites here, Dave's Garden, right, to
Okay.
look at our chance of frost. Now,
Yep.
we did experience frost, what was it, late August-ish, late August, early September? I'm trying to think.
Where were you?
Well, I was out in Medora
You were
riding.
Saskatchewan?
Nope. It must have been early September, because we went out there.
A few pockets.
Yes, my place got it. The garden was browned up within a day. Got hit.
Wow.
Corn got it
Wow, that's too
around
bad.
there too. Yeah. So I think it was
You're
actually
cursed.
like early.
Most county didn't get it.
Yeah.
Just you, huh?
No, throughout definitely like northeast to Bismarck and stuff.
Like
You
Hazen,
definitely could
maybe,
see
up
that
there.
the corn
Baldwin.
being affected majorly.
Okay.
So, again, I don't remember the date. I think that was early September or that second week in September and stuff. But this is just kind of a good resource when you want to look at, you know, where's your chance of frost, kind of the percentage of those dates, and when we see a hard frost. So consider that hard frost around that 28 degrees. You know, you're looking at October 3rd as a 50% for that. So coming around the corner, I guess you could say, right?
Well, if it's average year, you're right. This is
Yeah.
about the time we get our first frost.
But you're going to talk about the endless summer we're in right now,
Yeah,
right?
we're not going to get a frost this year. I told you, winter is not going to happen.
Oh, just a brown one. That's great. Okay, so people always do ask, though, about planting trees this
Yes.
time of year and stuff. So key thing to know is that your roots need adequate time to get established before going into winter.
Yes.
And so
if they can,
when
yeah.
is that? This is a great map that's provided. You see Burleigh County there. We would want to get our trees planted before October 1st. So again, we're coming upon that date, so just know that. How and stuff, we want to make sure, biggest mistake people make is planting that tree too deeply, so make sure that that root collar is slightly above the soil line. Right there gives you a good picture of that. So I always tell people, think of like a bell-bottom pant leg, right? You want that flare to
cool.
see it. Cool.
Yeah, I never heard that before.
Oh,
That's a
did you
good
used
one.
to wear the bell-bottoms back in the day?
Oh, I was,
Tom Cool.
my family, we are a big family, and we all wore the same clothes. We all wore jeans and a white T-shirt.
There you
That
go.
was my life as a kid.
So no bell-bottom pants, huh?
No fancy bell-bottom pants. Nope.
Oh, that's okay. All right, and then we want to make sure that when we do plant these trees, we're giving them adequate water. So kind of a general rule, 10 gallons per inch of diameter that you have. And then as far as staking and everything, of course, staking is going to be great, for those first couple years to add stability and, again, get those roots established. And then, Tom, I'll let you talk about the rules of three for mulching, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, the type of mulching makes a difference. You want shredded bark mulching. That's what you want. You want to...
No rocks, huh?
You don't want to use rocks. Rocks do nothing good for a plant. Plants hate growing in rocks. Shredded bark mulching will insulate the soil, keeping it a little bit cooler in the summer and a little bit warmer in the winter. And another nice thing, it conserves moisture, and shredded bark mulching it will eventually break down and nourish the tree, and it'll help keep the weeds and the weed whacker and lawnmower away. So mulching is very important. So you mentioned the lesson of 3-3-3. If possible, we want the mulch to be, if you plant a tree, let's say at least 3 feet wide in diameter, the mulch at least 3 feet, more the better. And it should be 3 inches thick, and you should have no mulch within 3 inches of the trunk. So no mulch near the trunk, otherwise the meadow mice can nest in it. So 3 inches wide, 3 inches thick, and no mulch 3 inches near the trunk. That's the lesson.
Easy enough.
Yep.
Anybody can do that. Perfect. Okay, just some other things to consider moving into.
Here, let's talk about
winter.
that planting date. That's the
you
ideal.
want me to back up?
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Let's back up then.
Let's do that.
All right, so again,
Okay,
if
here
you
we
look
go.
at
There
our
we go.
map,
So yeah, October 1. So that's our Joe Zalesnik developed this map, and that'll give us 40 days of 40-degree soil temperatures to let the roots get established. So that's kind of like the ideal planting deadline, okay? It doesn't mean you can't plant in October. It's just we're past the ideal time. And so, especially, I think with my experience with leafy trees, you can get away a little bit later. Evergreens are a little bit more risky because those needles hang on the tree all winter. But this is the ideal. Like, it doesn't mean this is a hard stop at October 1, okay? Because you can still successfully plant trees at least into early October, especially the leafy trees. But I remember I just listened to one of our local nursery people, and they talked about they're a little bit especially concerned about the way pines tolerate planting in fall. So maybe with pines, you may want to be more hesitant with that. But yeah, just keep that in mind. This is the ideal. Try to get it done as soon as you can. That's really the key if you're going to do it. And it doesn't hurt to wait till spring,
right? Easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Because
jump.
there are a lot of people who procrastinate a lot, And so
Some people.
Yeah, so maybe just that doesn't mean I have to plant today, okay?
Right.
But try to get it done as soon as possible if you can.
Okay, let's talk about a few other things to consider for our trees going into winter. Watering, this is a question I
Yeah.
feel like I always get and
Yes.
stuff. So we want to water up until freeze up. Conifers, especially, are going to be less likely to have winter injury if they go into the winter with hydrated needles. So you can see this picture of this lovely, shaped here evergreen that got some good winter injury on it.
That plant was butchered. I don't know.
You don't like its
That
uniqueness?
is so. That plant's so unhappy. Why did they do that to me? Why don't they just let me be
Let
natural?
me be natural. Yeah.
This is so torturous. I hate to see that.
Yeah.
They don't love that tree. They
love the appearance.
They're trying to dominate that tree, control that tree. That tree's not happy at all. And now, no wonder it's suffering.
There
No wonder
you go.
it probably wants to die, just looking at the way it was shaped.
Yep, there you go.
Terrible. Don't do that.
Okay, we also want to make sure that we're wrapping our trees. Again, we want to protect that young, tender bark from frost cracks or the sun scalds.
Right.
So again, let's select those white plastic wraps, as that's going to deflect the heat where black's going to
Right.
absorb it. So I know we've talked about that.
Yep.
Do you want to?
No, I just think the thing
just gotta
about
be
wrapping
careful.
trees, we wrap trees not to keep them warm. We wrap trees to keep them cool. We don't want that bark, the tissue beneath the bark, to wake up on a sunny day in March.
And go, oh,
Yeah, and that's literally what it does. It goes, snap, break, crack. So that's why, a lot of maples in town have a crack on the southwest side of their tree because they woke up in March right there on the southwest side on a sunny day. And you're not supposed to wake up in March when you're a tree. So keep it cool. White
Keep it
is the
cool.
way to go. And that keeps the critters away too. It doesn't hurt against critters,
You
It's
bet.
good. Keep those rabbits out.
Okay, and then pruning.
Yeah.
Okay, not now. We don't need to be doing this now, but during our dormant season. And first and foremost, why would we prune? Number one thing is like safety. So if we look at trees that maybe have some broken branches, dead branches within there, that can be some different risks. We want to prune those and make our trees safe first and foremost. And then also, pruning is going to help you produce a strong, healthy, and aesthetically attractive tree as well. So when do we do that? Like I said, during the dormant season, late winter, early spring. March is generally the best time to do it. It's going to minimize that excessive sap flow in the springtime like that. So we got time, but just know that, again, when we talked about those fungal issues earlier this year, pruning, again, allows more airflow, sunlight in, keep those leaves drier or help them dry out faster when we do have periods of rain.
Yep.
So with that, since we are moving into fall, I just say let's enjoy the colors that we are seeing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there you go. You talked about your larch. I include a beautiful
There you go.
larch.
It's that yellow. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
It's like 2 weeks of beauty, and then the whole winter looks dead. It has no needles at all. What a cool tree.
How about some red yet? Some Ohio Buckeye. Got some winterberry
yeah?
for you to look at. Get some different colors within the landscape.
Okay, so what's the most popular red tree? Everybody likes red.
It's going to be a maple.
Yeah, see, you got to be careful with most maples, right?
Yeah.
Because they want an acidic soil, and we have alkaline soils.
Yeah.
So,
You're
like,
going to be disappointed.
Yeah, that autumn blaze Freeman maple, it's marginally hardy, and if you don't, if you have a very alkaline soil, it's going to really suffer.
Yeah.
So if you have a Freeman maple, for me that's one especially important. Put mulching around. That's very important. And it's got a thin bark. We got to really protect it from weed whackers and lawnmowers. But
Just choose something different.
yeah,
Questioning it.
this is where it's good to know your landscape. Like what kind of soil do I have? Do I have a very alkaline soil? If it's very alkaline, you should not plant a Freeman maple or a silver maple. You shouldn't. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Because there are a few maples that like the Tatarian maple, Genoa maple. They're more tolerant. But got to be really careful about that if you've got a very alkaline soil, like if the pH is 7.5 or higher. So that's why it's not a bad investment to get a soil test done, especially if you got a new property. Find out what kind of soil you got. And that can help you make smart decisions, planting trees, see what works,
Yeah.
see what doesn't work.
Now's a great time to do it, too.
Now's a good time to do a soil test because you got almost nothing else to do, right?
Yeah.
But not after my talk coming up here, because I'm going to tell you lots of things you got to get going on.
Okay.
Okay. Here's my talk today. I call it Endless Summer, because except for Kelsey's property, the rest of us have had no frost, and the temperature's in the 70s, and a long-range forecast for like the next 10 days. It's going to be like in the 70s.
Yeah, I think Sunday said 85 this morning when
85.
I looked.
My goodness.
So, wow. Short season is still among us.
Yeah, there you go. So summer's keeping going. And the harvest has been great, man, with the rains we had. And
Those
really,
are your carrots?
no, that's a photo at the farmer's market. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
They're beautiful, though.
Oh, that's why I included it as a picture. So, but frost will come. Okay, so, it's just a matter of time before it comes. It always does. Trust me. You know that. We live in North Dakota. We know frost will be here before you know it. So just I will briefly, like, what is frost about? How does that harm the plant? And here's some tomatoes that I'm sure you would love to eat, Kelsey, since you love tomatoes so much. But you see, the way frost harms a plant is water, when it freezes, it expands. Like if you put a can of soda or sparkling water in your freezer and you let it sit there, the water expands and will explode in the freezer. And the same thing happens with frost, is that the water in the plant cells expand and break the cell walls. They just explode. And when the cell walls are exploded, everything collapses. And that leads to mushy fruit. So that's what happened here. That's what frost does. It explodes the plant cells, and everything turns to mush. So here's an exploded tomato.
Ugh.
Yeah. It got frosted. That's the way it is. And we did talk a little about frost dates. I have another sort. The frost date, they're pretty much the same, but there are different sources. This is from the Midwestern Regional Climate Center. And they say this is for Burleigh County, okay? So those listeners in Fargo, you're different. Those of you up in Bottineau, you're different. This is for Burleigh County. And we usually get our light frost at 32 degrees around September 26th. And we get our first hard killing frost when it's about 28 degrees around October 5th. But you can see like 10% of the years we'll get our frost, like on Kelsey's property, like September 11th or September, and then a hard frost on September 21. And then you can go to the 90% where 9 out of 10 years will definitely have been receiving a frost by October 10th and a hard frost by October 22nd. So this year appears to be one of those late frost. This is going to be a late frost year for most of us. And so what does that mean? So like here we are in late September. That means we got about 2 weeks before we're probably going to get it looks like it's going to be about 10 to 15 days probably until we get our first light frost for most of us. Now, we still can grow stuff. And if you want to protect your plants from frost, one of the best ways is use a blanket. Now, this is a fancy frost blanket. And some frost blanket, usually a blanket will give you about 2 degrees of protection, 2 degrees. But there are frost blankets that are really thick that are made to protect plants that can give you 8 degrees of protection. But for those of us who are just normal, who don't want to invest in a lot of money in frost blankets, just a cloth blanket will give you a couple degrees of protection. More than plastic, okay? Plastic. Just think about that.
Just say it doesn't sound warm at all.
Yeah, just pretend you were a tomato plant outside. You had no clothes on outside. You're freezing cold. Did you want to wrap yourself in plastic or a woolen blanket?
Yeah, I'm going to try to get the denim, the denim
Bell bottom
jean blanket.
with the extra flare bottoms.
No,
to
the
really
denim
keep your
blanket
ankle.
that everybody keeps in their truck or their car.
Oh, really? I never heard of that.
Oh.
I don't have a denim blanket.
Didn't grow up? You must not have had that grandma that was a sewer
Denim
quilter.
blanket.
Oh, yeah. They're very heavy duty. That's what I would grab. The one
I got to get one of
the
those.
car.
Yeah, I don't know. Why are you keeping the trunk of your car? Oh, in case you drive off the ditch or something.
Well, you always got to have like your emergency kit, and a blanket's one of it.
Yeah, I really should do that.
Yeah.
But I just stay on the highway if I can, just so.
There you go.
I don't like driving in the winter that much anyhow.
Well,
Only if it's necessary.
yeah.
And at night,
Not necessary, huh?
yeah, I just don't like that anymore. I don't like driving at night. Getting old. Here we go. So some plants can tolerate no frost. And so if you like beans and cucumbers and tomatoes and your zucchini that you treasure.
Yeah.
So if you want to, so they got no tolerance. So if you want to keep them, they're the ones you gotta put your denim blanket on.
There you go.
If it's some can tolerate a light frost like carrots and lettuce and spinach and winter squash. And so there you got a little tolerance, and then lastly you got those tough ones. Broccoli, cabbage, kale just goes, you can't kill me, I'm tough. Kill. Snowfall, I'm going to still be strong. Kohlrabi, these guys are tough. They can take a hard frost. So they're the least important ones in most cases. But most people, besides Kelsey, again, Kelsey is a very special person, we're learning. Most people treasure tomatoes the most. And so let's talk about how you can ripen your tomatoes. Again, tomatoes cannot take any frost. But if you got a light frost, like a couple degrees, you can put out your denim blanket that your grandma made for you, and they'll give you 2 degrees of protection. But if it gets like hard frost, like 28, grandma's blanket is not going to get the job done. Sorry. So you got to harvest what you can. And what we focus on when you harvest is we want to have tomatoes that at least have a blush. They're more likely to ripen indoors. If it's a solid green, that's going to be hard. That's going to take a long time, and it will likely rot. So I don't bother picking the green tomatoes. That's the way it goes, guy. So you want blushing tomatoes and those that are crack-free. And then you want tomatoes, when they ripen, they give off an ethylene gas, okay?
Yep.
So we want to trap that gas so it enhances ripening. So you put the fruits in a single layer, don't pile them on top of each other, and put them like maybe in a cardboard box, or at least on a piece of cardboard or a newspaper, and then you put some paper on top of the tomatoes to trap that gas. And some people wrap every tomato fruit with like newspaper. That's like too much work for me. But just like maybe I put a sheet of cardboard or newspapers on top of the tomato, the layer of tomatoes, and then keep it away from direct sun. Some people like put it on their windowsill, but that doesn't work because that will just ripen the skin. We don't want that. We want to ripen the whole tomato. And room temperatures, don't get it too hot. That can encourage rotting, or too cold because it'll just take forever. So room temperatures are best.
So you could do several layers in a box, though.
Or
is that
I don't like that. I want just a single layer. That's all I want.
See, I don't
get
know
more
this
than one
I
box.
don't grow the tomatoes.
All you have to do is it's a good excuse to, an Amazon box would work great. So it's just a good excuse to, you can order something from Amazon just for a tomato box. How about that? You can tell your husband, we need another tomato box. So
for the tomatoes we don't grow, but yes.
Well, Jaden grows them.
That's true.
But does he like tomatoes?
Not really, no.
So you're compatible. There you go.
Yeah.
That's great.
No tomatoes, unless it's ketchup in our house.
Ketchup, see, that makes no sense.
I know.
And I bet you like pizza, too. See, you guys just make no sense.
Weird ones.
You just don't like a real tomato, but you like processed tomatoes. Fascinating. I don't know, that must be like a disorder of some type. Tomatophobia.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there like this, though.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because it's kind of acidic, I think, and maybe it's a natural reaction because like tomato vines are toxic.
Don't taste good to me, though.
They don't taste good. Yep. Yeah.
I'll add some sugar in there for the ketchup. Sure, now it tastes
Oh, that's
good.
right. That's got to add sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little vinegar, whatever.
Okay. I think I like I don't really love any vegetable, but I don't despise any vegetable. I would eat any vegetable.
Except for beans. You despise beans.
Well, that's because you can them.
Yeah.
Who wants canned beans? That's disgusting. Frozen beans are delicious. Fresh beans. I love fresh beans. That's how I got started in horticulture.
Yeah?
Yeah, I grew beans as a kid. I told you that story, right? Mm-hmm. And that was my job. We each every one of my brothers and sisters had a
crop, huh?
Had
Specialty crop.
And they gave me the easiest one because I was, stupidest. And so they said, "Here, Tom, you do the beans. You can't ruin that." And I was successful every year and picked the beans. my mom just gives me a big pot. Tom, go pick some beans. And I picked some beans for Mom. And she kissed me on the forehead as soon as I gave her the beans. So it was positive reinforcement. So I said, this horticulture is a good thing. I think this could be a career for me. Bean grower. There you go. That's a long story. Another one, a crop that you can probably be successful at, Kelsey, is winter squash.
Yeah.
There you go. Almost as easy as beans, right?
Yeah.
So for me, winter squash, now they can take a light frost, but they can't take a hard frost, just like tomatoes. So I pretty much just leave my winter squash on the vine until a hard frost is expected. And then right before that frost, I go out there and harvest everything. But to tell if a winter squash is ripe, you look at the bottom of the fruit. It can have a white spot. When the white spots turn golden, that's a good sign. The stem end should be dry. That's a good clue. And also the rind should be hard and glossy. But for me, I just wait before the hard frost, and then we just take it from there. Then we get out the wheelbarrow and go nuts. So when you harvest winter squash, you want to clip the fruits off the stem. You want to keep about an inch of the stem there, and then brush off the soil if there is any soil on it. Don't wash it. That can encourage diseases. But just brush off the soil. And then we want to harden the rind. We call it curing. So like a week under warm temps, like put them out in the driveway for a week. They can't take a hard frost, though. Keep that in mind. And that will cure them. That will help them in storage. And then store your winter squash at about 50 to 60 degrees, like an unheated basement works good for me. And I put them like on a pallet to get them off the ground. That helps. And the thing about winter squash is there's different types of winter squash. You can enhance the flavor in storage. The starches will convert into sugars. But some don't, this doesn't work with. Some just, they are what they are, like acorn squash, the delicata, the spaghetti, and the little small miniature squashes. You can just eat them right away. But if you have a buttercup or a full-size kabocha, these are usually grayish or dark greenish in color. They'll taste better if you store them for a month. And butternut, even at least a month, in 2 months, the butternut will have its peak flavor. So just keep that in mind. You can store your squash and have better flavor. Okay? Now, so that's how I use the frost as far as determining when to harvest my winter squash. And the same goes with apples, in that I don't follow the frost. Like some people say, I'm going to wait till my apples get frosted, a light frost, and then they'll taste better. That is wrong. An apple has its peak flavor when it's ripe. And then once it's ripe, the flavor gets worse. So harvest your apples when it's ripe and don't wait for a frost. And when is a red apple ripe? When that background color, and see here on the side, when that background color turns from greenish to gold or has a yellowish tinge, that's a sign that the apple is ripe. And then the other thing is when you harvest an apple, it's ripe. You can do an upward twisting motion. We talked about this the last episode, I think, that an upward twisting motion, and it should come right off. If it doesn't come off, it's not ripe. And don't yank down on it.
Oh, don't rip the branches off?
I was just out in Carrington and out at their orchard, and they were picking it, and they're ripping off the fruit. I go, oh, stop. Because you see there, like you can see right near that apple, that yellow ring. That is the flower bud for next year. That's next year's crop. Don't be ripping down apples. Otherwise, you're ripping off the flowers and the fruits for next year. So an upward twisting motion. But again, like most of our apple varieties are right now. Okay, if you start seeing the apples falling down, that's a sign that probably that they're ripe to go too.
Sure.
So don't, if your apples are dropping, don't say, I'm going to wait till they get a frost. No, they're ripe. So pick them.
Ready to go.
If you got a late ripening apple, they can take a light frost for sure. And they won't even start to have any frost damage until 28 degrees, okay? And in my experience, it's closer to 26 degrees when it really gets, I really start worrying about the apples having significant frost damage. If the temps are just dancing near 28, they're okay. But if the apple does freeze, then you should wait till it thaws out and then harvest it at that time. And a frozen apple will not store well. So that's going to be the apples that you gotta eat first. Again, so apples have some sugar. They're not going to freeze at 32. They're not even going to begin to freeze till it hits about 28. So we got a little bit of leeway there. Okay. And we talked about, like, if apples are on the ground, it's really important that for good sanitation, that you pick up any fallen apples. But when you pick them up, you got to worry about those wasps, because those wasps, until the frost comes, the wasp populations are continuing to rise. So I just want to talk briefly about wasp control, because we got like 2 more weeks of wasp action going on. So usually you just leave the wasp nest alone. Just let them live their life. You live your life. They're going to die in 2 weeks. That's okay. But if they're in a hazardous location and they're all buzzing around, you should take action and destroy them, because the wasp, they live in a colony and they're very protective of the queen and themselves. So to kill wasps, only in the high traffic areas where they're a real risk to you. And then the wasps, they all come home at night, and they're less active when it's a cold night, when the temp's in the 50s. So that's when they're vulnerable. You want to get them at night when they're all there, and on a cool night, they can barely move. Show respect to your enemy. These guys, they can attack you, and they can sting. Like a bee stings once, it loses its stinger and it dies. Wasps are different. They're not like bees. Wasps can sting you several times. They can be very aggressive this time of year. So wear armor, the protective clothing, like a hat, in case you got a lot of hair like me. You don't want the wasp to get stuck in your hair. It could be a major problem. And long sleeve shirts are good. You don't want them to get in your clothes, because that's really bad news. They'll sting you for sure. Long trousers, and tuck your socks over the trousers. Even if they're bell-bottom flares, you got to tuck them in. Otherwise, they'll go under those bell-bottoms, and they will nail you. That's a bad problem. I've had that happen. Like they get under my jacket or something. It's bad news. They're going to get you. So there's above ground nests. You see, they all have an entrance hole. That's our target. So we're going to scout the enemy, just like a war. I'm going to kill this army of wasps. I got my armor on. I know where they're vulnerable. I know where the hole is. And then I'm going to go out there with a knockdown wasp killing spray. Target the entrance hole, and I'm going to soak that nest and get the heck out of there. I'm not going to just, do a dance or anything, saying, well, I got you.
Happy dance.
Yeah, don't do a happy dance. Get the heck out of there. Run out. And then check the next day or two and see how you did. If they're still active, because wasps, they have to go in and out. They don't store food in there. So they got to keep harvesting. So
don't take a bat, hit the nest.
Don't do that.
Go crazy.
Just asking for trouble. Or a flamethrower. Don't do that. Just these wasp killing sprays. They kill on contact.
That's your weapon.
That's what I want. Long range. 20 feet. There you go. Some nests are below ground though.
Yeah.
So you can still use those kind of sprays. But actually, a dust works best, because when they go out, the dust will be on the entrance of the nest itself. So when they fly out, they'll get exposed to that dust, like 7 dust here. And you can sprinkle or dust. Maybe I would just maybe if I had a wasp killing spray in the garage, I'd try that first, just soak it and see how it goes. But if they're still active, I got to use dust the next time.
Yep.
Okay. Don't seal the hole, because they'll just make a new entrance hole. Just dust and run and check. So that's a below ground nest. Those are like German yellow jackets have that. Okay. And the other thing about nests is nests are never reused again. Okay. So what happens? I've talked about this before, how it's a love story. It's a beautiful love story about hornets.
It is.
Hornets, they are a loving critter, even more than horses. Do you know that? I know you're a horse person.
Yeah.
Maybe I support hornets more.
More?
Yeah, because I really respect them. First of all, they will fight to defend their colony. They will fight. And the other thing about a hornet, like that mother, she's been there since May. She was impregnated in the previous fall. She survived the North Dakota winter all by herself. She didn't have a barn or anything like a horse does.
She was a widow, huh?
She was a widow all by herself, and she started her colony in May from nothing, just a spit of mud. And and her daughters, they built that nest together.
There you go.
And nowadays, what she's doing right now is she's getting ready for the next generation. So she's creating queens and their mates right now, and they're going to fly away, do their thing, and they're going to start the colony next year.
Start their own lives, huh?
But the mother and her daughters, they're going to stay in the nest all the way until that frost comes, and they're going to freeze. They're just going to hold hands and freeze together.
Oh,
it's a loving story. That's life.
Yeah, sad.
But she passed the baton to the next generation.
That's right.
That's what children's all about. How about that for philosophy? Shall we talk about some more killing? There you go.
Oof.
I got this picture of it. This guy says, I want to kill this vine. Can you tell me how to kill it?
Wow.
So this is a Virginia creeper. Actually,
I was going to say, growing up on a tree?
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah, I don't know what it's covering. It could be covering a shrub. It could be covering his child. I don't know what's covering.
Grandchild, maybe?
I don't know what's happening. But he just wanted to kill it. That's what he thought.
All right.
I want to kill this sucker, Tom. How do I kill it? And it's a Virginia creeper. It's the most common vine in North Dakota. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, this time of year.
Beautiful fall color, and it's got fruits. Don't eat the fruits. But how you tell a Virginia creeper? It's got like these 5 to 7 leaflets, all like a palm. They're like fingers. That's one leaf.
Yeah.
This is if you have kids and you have to do a leaf project in the fall.
This is the one to grab.
You're going to get an A+ for that.
There
Having a
you
Virginia
go.
creeper. They're everywhere. So how do you kill that sucker? I'll tell you how to kill any woody plant this time of year. Now's a great time to do it. So you prune the vine right down at the base. Get your lopping shears, prune it right down at the base. And then I'm going to soak that fresh wound with a brush-killing herbicide. And that's going to have like triclopyr or glyphosate in it. And now's the time to do it because the plants now, we've talked about this before, the plants now are preparing for winter. They're sending all their nutrients down into their roots. How do we kill this vine? We got to get that herbicide down into the roots. And so the plant, if you soak the wound right now, the plant will naturally channel the herbicide along with its nutrients down into its roots. And even if you don't want to cut it at the base, you can soak the leaves if you want. But then I worry about you might get some on the desirable plants,
right?
Because they could harm them. And then you'll really set this vine back severely. It may resprout because it could have an aggressive root system, but all you have to do is like hit it again. Fresh wound, soak the sprout. That's how you kill a woody plant. Okay.
It works on saplings, right, in the yard.
Yeah, it does. If you really, yep. That's right. And now's the time to do it because the plant will send the herbicide down into the roots. And the same goes. Last thing to talk about is with our herbaceous or our green plants like field bindweed. Now is the best time because the bindweed is sending the herbicide down into its roots. So if you got bindweed in your lawn, which can be a problem, you want to use a chemical that will kill the bindweed but won't kill the lawn. And those are broadleaf weed killers. And so like Roundup, there's lots of Roundups. You got to read the label carefully. This is the Roundup for lawns. It won't kill the lawn, but it will kill the weeds. And there's other products too. Lawn, weed, crabgrass killer. For me, when I select one, I like finding something that has dicamba in it. Most of these products have 2,4-D, 2,4-D like dog. But 2,4-D, they'll kill the easy ones like dandelion, but it won't kill the tough ones like bindweed. So I'm looking for something that has dicamba. That's pretty tough. And now I see more of the products are adding quinclorac. That also kills a little crabgrass when it's applied in the springtime. But now is the time to do it. You got it while the plants are still actively growing, and you spray them, and they will suck the chemical down into its roots. But if bindweed's in your garden, I don't want to use dicamba because that can persist for several months. So you got to use something that has a very short life. And so I would use something like glyphosate, okay? Glyphosate. And this is a vegetation killer. It will kill almost every vegetation. It'll kill bindweed. But this is what I would use in a garden because it lasts in the garden for just a few days, actually. But I like to spray it. It gives it a couple weeks to starve the bindweed to death, and then you can ready to plant next spring. So that's another thing. If you wanted to start a new garden next year, glyphosate would be great to spray right now, late September, and that would kill the grass, kill the weeds, and then you can maybe even till up the land before it freezes this fall, and then you're ready to rock and roll.
That sounds great.
That's a lot of stuff that we talked about today.
In our endless summer.
Our endless summer.
Yeah.
But it probably will end in a couple of weeks. But it's a long summer, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
It is good. I think everybody's enjoying these last warm days and
yeah, I am.
Being able to be outside, play tennis, all that.
That's right. It's a good time to take a nice walk and
yeah, you bet.
Lots of things to do. What else should we be doing now this time of year? Any other things you got to talk about?
I don't think so. Maybe go to the pumpkin patch, huh?
Yeah, have some fun. That's good. I think if you're going to fertilize your lawn, I would do it yesterday if you can. Don't wait any longer. If you really try to get that, we want to make sure that the lawn has a chance to harden off before winter. So if don't wait any longer for that. Like I say, we want to plant the trees soon if you can, and yeah, I think harvest your apples, harvest your fruits when they're ripe. Yeah, I think that's a lot of stuff going on.
I think so too. Those are your last pieces of advice.
That's all I got today.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Well, we just want to say thank you for joining us on today's episode of Dakota Growing, and as always, we hope that you'll join us in our future episodes.
Dakota Growing is a gardening show brought to you by Dakota Media Access and NDSU Extension. We discuss a variety of timely topics pertaining to your landscape, along with giving you tips and advice for your lawn, garden, and trees. If you have questions, call 701-221-6865 or email ndsu.burley.extension@ndsu.com. Dakota Growing airs on Radio Access 102.5 FM, Community Access Channel 12 or 612 HD, or online at freetv.org.